Hello guys, so this strategy is all about winning early in the match. So you probably will use like low mana heroes, and you want to finish it as fast as possible. And let me show you just an perfect match for my deck. And I guess this could be done with multiple decks, but I will show you my deck which I use to achieve this. And I can tell you that the core creature you will need, core card, is the Reaper, because Reaper is doing like insane damage, like 600 to the enemy, and the enemy usually doesn't expect this and doesn't expect that you will so clear that. So you can see I have Reaper, I have some protection, and I may just cast it. Mage, I switch lane, I use double damage, and 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds or 5, and the enemy is dead. And he was not expecting it at all, and this was like easy win. And usually this is how you win with this deck. Of course, it doesn't work all the time. Sometimes you will lose, but that's with all the decks. And as you can see, I'm currently at the ranking. My rating is 2200, and my rank is my level is 7. And I guess that I started using the strategy like at the rank 1000, but basically you can do it from the rank around 800, because Reaper, you will need the Reaper. You will need definitely the Reaper, and on the 800 you have the double damage, which is quite useful or quite important, and the wind. Double damage and wind are important card for this deck to work. And yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the deck. I will open it, and I guess that the most important card is the Reaper, as I told you. And I think that if you don't have any other card, I think you can like use different card which is similar to it and swap the functionality. But the most important card is the Reaper. Like, it's doing 600 damage, and it's area damage, which is also useful because when it's next to the enemy castle and the enemy drops a creep, it does damage to the creep and to the castle. So I have two Reapers because I need them most. Then the second most important card is the double damage, because when you double damage the Reaper, it's like 1000, and it's like 6 seconds. 6 seconds of damaging the castle, and it's done. And also it has the bonus speed, which is useful to get it as fast as possible to the enemy castle. Very important card is the standard bearer, because he can switch the lanes, and this will allow you to dodge the enemy defense. So let's say you have like a Reaper and something on the lane, and the enemy drops defense. And as you saw in the previous clip, I just switched the lanes, and the enemy was not prepared for it, and I was able to get it to the castle and destroy it completely. So bearer, standard bearer, or how is it called, bearer, is pretty important. Second, or the third most important card, I would say the wind. The wind is pretty important, because usually you don't want to like fight the enemy creeps on the lane. You don't have the damage for it, because you have like low creeps, which are somehow useful, but you can find them all. So what you need is to, using the bearer, swap between lanes and get your Reaper to the enemy castle as fast as possible. And with the wind, you can just like defend some lane which is enemy pushing with his attack. You can defend it with the wind pretty much easily. Next important card, I would say that like the dwarf is like pretty useful in here, because it has a lot of health, like 800. It doesn't have any damage, which is fine, but Dwarf is moving at the same speed as the Reaper. So what you will do, you will drop the Dwarf, and you will drop the Reaper behind it, and the Dwarf will protect the Reaper from most of the damage, and do the rest. I would say the next important card would be like Genie, because with Genie you can drop it anywhere, as you can see, and with this you can drop it next to the enemy castle, start doing damage, and when you have one creep next to the enemy castle, you can drop your creeps directly in the middle, so you cover less, you have less space to move to the enemy castle. And I would say that the demon, I have it like, because it's generally good card. You can kill using the magic. You can kill the enemy Dryad, and my Dryad is again pretty useful card, so I have it. Jester, also epic card, so I have it. I have the Metamorph, which can be also good because it costs only 3 mana, and I want as many low mana creatures in my deck as possible. So as you can see, you can pick any card which is really good, like under 5 mana. You don't want to have many 5 or 6 mana cards, because you want to have as many cards on the deck as possible. Next cards, I have the archers, just for a creep. I have the arrows, because it's pretty useful when the enemy is pushing on the multiple lanes and he gets to your castle. You want to have some defense, and I like the arrows more than the bomb or the fire, because fire costs more mana and it's only one lane. You just destroy the whole lane, but it's only one lane, and I want to defend all 3 lanes with this if possible. I also use in this deck, I also used like the stone, the defense which you can put, where is it? Which you can put to defend the lane, yeah, here. I used the stone statue. It was also useful, but I get better card over time. And also lately, I get this protection, which is like epic card for my deck, because I can drop this on the Reaper. And I always had problems when the enemy had the arrows or had the flame for the full lane, and they drop it on my Reapers, and the Reapers were dead. But when I cast the protection, the Reaper will, like, it saves you only 100 like health, but it's whole attack. So when I drop it on the Reaper, it protects from the 1 arrows or one fire, and it really gets the creature to it. So this would be the deck, and let's get to some matches, so you will get the idea how this deck works in the match. So let's take a look at the enemy deck. I think that he has like a balanced deck. There are some high level cards and low level cards with mana. So let's take a look at how the match looked like. And yeah, let's start. I think I have a good start. I have the Reaper in, I have the double damage, and I don't have the wind, which could be a problem. But let's see. As you can see, I'm dropping the cards on all the lanes. So if he has the Inferno and he uses it, he wipes only one of my lanes. So as you can see, I have Dryad. I dropped the Reaper behind it. I knew that the middle lane will end. Let's use the protection, which is pretty useful because he uses Inferno and the creeps are okay. Let's use double damage, and basically I think that the match is over. I'm also preparing the third lane. If the bottom lane would fail, I would have the third lane in place, and I could drop a Reaper on some other creeps in there to get it to the castle and try to win it there. Okay, let's take. I guess that you can watch, see which matches I won and which I lost. Win. I have another quick match which I won in here. Let's take a look. I didn't show you the deck, but I guess you can. It was also balanced decked, And as you can see, I'm dropping my arrows, archers, so I have some creep on the lane. I'm dropping my dwarf, my jester. I'm trying to have like all 3 lanes deployed. So if there's some like single spell or creep which you can like clear the lane, I have multiple lanes. I know that the top lane is lost right now because these little skeletons are pretty strong, but I also already dropped my Reaper. I have my protection. I use the arrows. The Reaper is in place. I use the wind to protect my castle, and the Reaper is basically it's over for enemy. He would need like meteor or something to kill my creeps. And yeah. Okay, so I just played another match, and as you can see, the enemy deck, I almost lost it. But let's watch the match. In the beginning, I had a problem that I didn't have any Reaper in my deck ready, so I started with the dwarf. I guess the enemy has a similar tactic because he has like 1 creep which he can get really big and really powerful. Yeah, let's drop the arrows. I'm next to the enemy castle, but I don't have any Reaper ready. He switched lanes, and I also used my standard beater to save my creeps because I wanted to use wind. So I first I switched the lanes, so my creeps are still in the beginning. I used wind to protect my lane. I had the Reaper almost in the enemy castle, but he dropped the mage which killed my Reaper because I didn't have any protection. But luckily I had the double damage, and I won it like really close. It was tight. It was tight win, but yeah, it worked. Let's take a look at this match. I think that you recognize the enemy deck. It's the deck with the demons, Unchained Demon, which will increase the mana cost. So it's mana cost punishment. These decks usually have like only the Unchained Demons, and they have like other cards like the Inferno, double damage, and other cards because these cards doesn't get the boost or the punishment for the mana. So let's watch this match. And I have to say that I love this playing against these players because I win like almost all the time. So let's take a look. So he dropped the Unchained Demon, and he like has not many other cards. And as you can see, I have the wind as my backup, and I'm definitely saving the wind for the enemy creep to get it too late. As you can see, I dropped my Reaper, and I'm getting close to the enemy castle. I used protection to protect it, but yeah, use wind, drop it in. My Reaper is in place. Let's drop the standard beater to swap the lanes, and yeah, basically drop double damage and it's over. The enemy doesn't have a chance. They basically had bad cards, but I'm pretty sure that I would win this match anytime against this deck. But as usually, you cannot win like all the time with this deck. As you can see, here deck was also quite good, which beat me. Here is one deck which beat me, but I usually it's like you are unlucky with your card. Let me show you one match like here with John. In the beginning, I got like really unlucky because let's speed it up, because I didn't get like Reaper in my deck. I have Dwarf, I had the Dryad, I had the double damage ready, I had protection. He killed the Dryad with the Demon, which is pretty good play. I dropped the Jester to like move enemy card back because I didn't have the wind. I had a lot of cards there, but I didn't make the protection in time, and he destroyed it with the Meteor. And basically at this point it's over for me. I don't have cards ready, and it's the end. I didn't had like, you need to win now. It's like 10, 11 mana, and it's over. He's like his high cards, and I don't have anything. It's no point in defending. So yeah, if you don't win early, it's probably a loss for you. And I think that's it. I think that this should be like the tactic. I think that you understand it. So you need some cards which are like early game, cost low mana, and you want the Reaper to be in there to get the main damage done to the enemy castle, and you want to get the Reaper to the enemy castle as possible. So you want Rage to have the speed boost, and you want the beater, the standard beater, to swap the lanes to dodge the enemy defense, and you want the Wind to protect your castle. Also, Jester is good card against multiple, because it's area damage, so you can kill the enemy skeletons or something like that. And also it pushes enemy back, so it's good protection. Demon is good card in general, and yeah. So this is my deck. I made it from, I guess, 1000 rank with it to in here. I can show you my profile, how many matches I have. There's no matches. I have like 450 wins on my profile, and I think I switched the decks few plays with other decks, but I mostly played this deck to get in here. And I say sometimes you met the better enemy player, or like you have more like you are unlucky with your cards. And from all these matches, I met only one player who had the similar tactics. He had different deck, but he had similar tactic in like early game win. And yeah, so you can always make this deck, and you can try it yourself, and just for fun. Maybe it will work for you as it works for me. And I'm curious how far I will get. Okay, guys, see you, and let me know in the comments if you have any other tips or anything you would like to share with other players. Cheers.